I will pass you on to the father of the bride, Gordon.
Right, before I start with the serious stuff, I'd like to thank Matthew and Kirsty for getting married on that Friday, my shopping day. And also, I'm going to miss tonight's episode of Emmerdale. So thank you very much. I might be able to forgive you at some point, but not quite yet. Right. Bear with me a second, please. Right, I'm on to the serious stuff now. Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kirsty's old man, Gordon. I hope you all have a brilliant night, particularly because this is a special day for me, because I never ever imagined I'd see Kirsty getting married. The day of and all those sitting at the tables up there can understand why. Also, if you find me slumped in a corner later on tonight, it's either because I'm extremely drunk or I'm extremely tired, because this is well past my bedtime by the time this gets finished. I probably will be very, very drunk, to be fair. Right, I'd like to welcome you all here this afternoon. Some of you have travelled from England and Ireland. Yeah, really? So thanks for the admirable effort in being here, especially Matthew's grandmother. It must have been an extremely long couple of days, travelling all the way up from York. So obviously thinks a great deal of her grandson, like I do. Never thought I would, but there we are. Without you all here, it just wouldn't be the same. And I'm delighted to see all my friends and family and Matthew's friends and family here tonight to help Matthew and Kirsty celebrate this fantastic evening.
Well said.
Thank you. That's the kind of heckling I like. And I mean, keep it up, keep it up. Okay, right, how do I get my place again? I'd also like a special mention to friends and family who are no longer with us. And maybe just a quick wee toast, if you can stand up and just a quick wee toast to family, friends who are no longer here and who with this. Thank you. And I'm on the subject, I know that my grandparents, my parents and Eileen's parents would have had a lovely evening tonight. I'm so proud to see Kirsty marry this fine young man as I am. I'm just gonna have scale here. I'm not going to bother looking at this at the night. Also,
Please do.
somebody told, I can't remember, was it you? Somebody told me, when you're making a speech, focus on somebody, but I can't assume to get worthwhile focus on it. I might need to really. Far here we go. They were so proud to see that granddaughter Mary Matthew. Also a huge thank you to the bridesmaids, flipper girls and best man for performing their duties in such admirable fashion, and to the staff at Meldrum House for the meticulous planning and organisation for today's proceedings. And especially to young Jake, the ring bearer. He did a fantastic job. I'd also like to give a special thank you to George and Val, Matthew's mother and father, for their generous contribution to today's proceedings, and also to Kirsty's mum, Eileen. It's very much appreciated to make all this possible, so thank you very much. Right, now down to the nitty-gritty stuff about Kirsty. Well, quick to say, without Matthew running a mile,
Too late now, isn't it?
A bit too late. You still got time, Matthew. I've got a lead on the roof of the barn. You want to be a pump, I think. What's that you're drinking?
Never you mind, just
Yeah,
crack on, Dad.
well, Mickey, here she goes again, that lost the crown. Here she goes again. Well, when Chris was a toddler, it became obvious she was very stubborn. She was, aye. If she misbehaved and I sent her to her room, she knew fine well I'd be at the bottom of the stairs shouting her down about half an hour after to say it's okay to come down now. And she could do me a sly grin on her face, knowing she'd beat me once again. But Kirsty also loved football for a very early age, playing for her school, and still having girls within a few trophies, which annoyed her brother Jamie, because he was crap and she was better than he was. And it still runs with him to this day. Look at it, he's really good, couldn't have kicked a banjo. Yeah. But as she started to grow up, she became a really confident girl, perhaps even a wee bit rebellious. When she was about 12, I took her and her brother to, I think it was Mallorca, was it? For a holiday with the sun, and they went to the go-karts, and both of them were really going for it, and obviously Kirsty was beating Jamie there, so that was the point. And Kirsty clicked the back wheel of another go-kart, and the go-kart just shot up in the air, and just about landed on Jamie's go-kart behind her, and it bounced off the ground a few times, and I thought, I'm going to have to take her to the hospital for this thing lands. But she landed on her feet, my heart was in my mood, and visions as though I'd just been smashed to bits, but thankfully she managed to get up and carry on, and I think you came in second, did you? Or something like that. And a couple of days later, we were out for something to eat, we bumped into our best friend and bridesmaid Stacey. We were both on holiday, and Stacey and Kirsty went off together. And we stayed and did something to eat. And about an hour after, Stacey came back to me and says, Gordon, you're going to hate to come with me. And I says, why? She says, Kiss is absolutely bewildered. They were 12, 13 year olds, or something like that. 12, 13, and they were getting served in the pubs. So when me and Jamie get to pick her up, she was like minced. Basically pour her into a taxi and get her back to the accommodation. But she was right hungover the next day, and Jamie of course wanted me to ground her. So I says, okay, we'll ground her, that means the rest was going to be for the rest of the holiday. But she had a bit of a hungover the next day, but she got over it. Just wait till I get my bearings here again. Well, that's when I started to think this could be trouble. And on another occasion, you remember I seen Kirsty? I'd been out for a pint with Abby. And you'd been awash swimming. And you came home and the door was locked. You had locked the door.
Yeah.
So you started writing about the pubs and Stony looking for me. And you came into the what's the name of the pub again?
Stony.
That's the one, aye. We have backpack and that.
Oh, jeez, it was
Jeez, aye, that's the one, aye. And we have backpack, asking for the key, of course, we out for a drink, her 11, 12-year-old, and just the chance I was speaking to a social worker. So she was sauntering up to me, asking for the key for the house. I remember, I remember. Sauntering up, asking for the keys to the house. And by God, I was some explaining the social worker after that. And I think I laughed here because they didn't take her off of me, unfortunately. She's so pretty, isn't she? I would say that Kirsty looked after me on many travels with the Norster crowd area abroad. If I hadn't been for her, there's many a night I would have got home. And for much. And for much, but she was good, aye. See that? Aye. Thankfully, she's grown into a delightful, caring, thoughtful young woman. And I'm sure Matthew will agree he's a lucky young man. A lucky young man. And I'm a lucky old man to finally get rid of her. And I mentioned earlier, no, I didn't mention earlier, our love of animals, which is made from a very young age, I think makes it even more special. And you can see that in today's service, with the dogs being there before his kilt and Tommy head up.
Corsage.
Horsage.
Corsage.
Corsage. Corsage. And it's fair to say that if Matthew didn't love the dogs and the dogs didn't love Matthew, he wouldn't be sitting there in the night. It's fair to say that. Matthew knows he's starting taking order in that household behind the dogs. And fourth?
Yeah.
Have you got another dog? Oh, sorry, behind that goes without saying, Matthew. Because they shiver those dogs with huge loves all their lives. And that makes me very, very proud.
Oh, no, boy.
Sam, give him a hug.
Do it. Who's that guy? You pack it in. You pack it in.
Testing. You'll be glad to know I'm nearly finished, but obviously I cannot close without mentioning Matthew. And what a fine young man he is. I credit his parents and his grandmother. And I see why you're very proud of him. He's a fantastic young man. First time I met him.
Hannah's really sorry, hold on.
I did that. Yeah.
Hello? Right, far was that?
Did you find him?
And I'm proud and delighted to have him as my son-in-law. And Kirsty first told me where he was from. I was expecting a dour Yorkshireman, and he never disappointed me. But the more I got to know him, the more I got to like him, and then the more I got to love him. And he really is a fantastic young lad, and he's a credit to Kirsty as well. Just Kirsty, your luck. I'm back. Like I said, he's a conscientious young man, he's hard working, but I'll tell you this, his DIY skills leave a lot to be desired. What is it? He got a job for Bob the Builder, but he got sacked the next day. And my brother Dave and myself was going to take him on, give him maybe like a short apprenticeship, but then we thought, we've got a big reputation to keep here, so we don't want to destroy the space of our week. If one of you goes into Matthew's house, they'll see if I mean with his DIY. It's not very good, Matthew, is it? In fact, I'm going to dig up his loft in the autumn and I'm going to get a right good laugh. Again, for the bad weather comes in and it gets dark and dew and that'll cheer me up no end watching Matthew trying to cut a bit of timber or nail, cut a nail in or something like that. But on a more serious note, I think one of the reasons he went way up in my estimations was that he turned up at my house one night, and that's, I think the celebrant said that. I thought, oh, what's wrong with the dogs? Was it one of the dogs dead or something like that? But no, it was to ask me if he could take Kirsty's hand in marriage. Initially, I thought this was not happening very often, especially with that generation, and Matthew just shot way up in my estimation. And I grew even fonder of him at that point. And it really sets him apart for a lot of today's youngsters. And Kirsty's a very lucky young lassie to have as her husband, and I think Matthew knows already how fond of him we are. So welcome to my family, Matthew. Now, just about there, folks, where you get stuck into the serious drinking. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, enough of my rambling and drivel. Can you all please be upstanding and raise your glasses to a long and happy life together for the newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. Matthew Howland. Thank you. And I'm done.
To start off, I'd like to propose a toast to the bride and groom. Don't they look worried? My wife has told me that I don't pick up on subtlety very well, so please, if anything is good, loads of noise. If it's bad, total silence. Anything in the middle, just wasted on me. Before I delve too deep into Matthew's past, I'd like to take a moment to say thanks to the bridesmaids. First off, for making sure Kirsty had a great time in her henny. I heard the service was peachy. And secondly, for being with her today and making sure you attended to her every need. Doesn't matter how much of a diva she's been. So it fills me with joy to be standing here speaking to you all, not because it's obviously an honour to be step up for a great friend, but because I thought Matthew was a total lost cause. From his politics to his ideas on the shape of the earth, to dinosaurs and the origins of our royal family, he strikes his own path, or at least, he strikes a different one from the assembled flock. We're speaking about a man here who sent quotes from American Psycho to his Tinder matches. So if you asked me 5 or 6 years ago, will Matthew move out? Will Matthew get married? Will Matthew adopt 2 weirdly hairy children who insist on crawling even though they're teenagers? I would have said no. But how wrong was I, and how happy were Val and John when Matthew eventually moved out, even to a different town? To a different town in Everton. And he went and got himself an actual girlfriend instead of caring for the elderly. Talking about the woman, I was concerned that he set sights on my mother-in-law, but at the time of our wedding he made a joke at her expense, and that kind of put an end to that. So, Eileen, don't worry, you're safe from my jokes. Unless you're with Matthew. Today you've heard the story of how Matthew and Kirsty met, and how their relationship has blossomed over the past few years. But I'm here to give you the story that you really all want. how Greg and Matthew met. But to be honest, I'd hoped I could, but neither of us can really remember. We chatted about it the other week, and we just don't have a clue. But there was like an merge in the friendship groups at Ellen Academy, and I think we hit it off from there. Kind of football in the park, FIFA sessions on the PlayStation, progressing to house parties, and then nights out at Fandangos or weekends or whatever the hell it was called. Still can't decide what sealed the deal, but there are a few standout points. One, Matthew had a huge TV in his own room, which meant he could watch football, play FIFA for hours on end, uninterrupted. Or was it that he had a computer in his own room, which meant he could speak to randoms on MSN for fucking hours? Or was it because he was Ellen Academy's foremost distributor of adult entertainment? I really can't decide. Anyway, this friendship and convenience has endured over 20 years. We've seen each other at our best, and we've seen each other at our worst, and we've learned that there's nothing that can't be sorted without copious amounts of ice cream, a lot of spirits, preferably mixed in the blender. There's been good stories along the way too, from stealing Strachan's car from work, the final Merck pub quiz when we left with lots of boxes of booze and decided we had to be drunk on that night. Midnight trips to various film premieres, highlight being Casino Royale, where we just ended ourselves laughing at James Bond in a wheelchair.
Wow.
Being befriended by the maddest bastard possible at a Frank Carter gig. Finding the creepiest Airbnb in Berlin, saw music and all. And can I just confirm, is there any police in the room? Anyone fraud squad, banking? Oh, you banking fraud? No? Pass on that? Okay. the top story of them all is Matthew racking up a bill in a cologne stripper so large that his only way was to call the bank and report his card stolen. There were some good stories from friends too. So, like when Matthew declined the Las Vegas pool party so that he could sit in his room, watch TV, and have cake delivered on room service. And when he demanded McMom meals from a Newcastle McDonald's at 6 a.m, only to be told, we don't do burgers at this time, and what's a McMom meal anyway?
Why have you asked him?
What is a McMom?
Where's a mom meal?
Yeah, after all this time, there's still more to learn. Until organising the stag do, I hadn't realised that Matthew can't swim, or that he loves a Premier Inn so much because each one has been individually approved by Lenny Henry himself. He really is the gift that keeps on giving. So the stag do. When Matthew asked me to be best man, came with a caveat. I don't want to go to some war-torn shithole. If it's shots in Eastern Europe, I'm not coming. So you can imagine my disappointment then when I couldn't get a sensible deal for Kiev. We had 17 attendees, which is either a testament to the man or an indication of how many of us wanted to see him inflicted with a little bit of pain. We travelled to Edinburgh to take in the sights, crawl around the bars, take in a show, and have a day at the races. A pleasant weekend, no doubt, but what did we learn? Well, we were officially the most middle-class stag do ever, according to one of the comedians. A bar crawl now only covers 4 bars. Matthew does not do dares, forfeits, challenges. He does like fancy dress though. None of us are great at betting. Professional rugby lads are fucking massive in real life. The old boys have a remarkable stamina for the pints. And you think you know folk, right? But there was a worrying proportion of the group seemed to have held a long-suppressed foot fetish. You say alcohol's a true sin, but yes, it's dark. I also have an apology to make, and I've cocked this bit of the speech up because I've left my fucking bag in the car. Matthew, I've got you a gift to make up for it. So in the stag do for everyone else, I bought him a t-shirt that says I love Hillary Clinton. And this is because he speaks about her a lot, but what I didn't actually pick up on was that he doesn't actually like her. So yeah, I've got you a gift, Matthew, I'll bring it down later, and I hope you like it.
True.
To have such a great turnout on the stag do shows how well Matthew's liked, though. I honestly think we could have doubled the list and filled the slots. It's a cracking guy and a really, really loyal friend. So in a show of great friendship, he once mentioned to my wife that he was concerned with my welfare, specifically my drinking. Not that I'm an alcoholic, just that I'm either a total pain in the arse, fall asleep, or both, on every single night out. So I thought in the name of good friendship, I should consult Matthew's friends about what their concerns for him are, and yeah, an intervention of sorts. One row, I'm concerned with his plans to break free of our lizard men overlords and become self-sufficient. He's the least practical man I know.
He's the least.
In a similar vein, I'm concerned by his desire to live remotely. He can barely tie his shoelaces. Got life and death stories from one friend. He says, I'm concerned about his lack of understanding of an American stop sign. It's kind of the same as it is over here. I've got dark forecasts from one of the bridesmaids, as she advised. I'm concerned that Kirsty might smother him in his sleep if he doesn't stop warning her about slipping or tripping when they're out walking. One told the story of John and Val's concerns that Matthew was on drugs. They found a pill in his room and grounded Matthew. After some analysis, it turned out it was one of our friend's acne pills. So, Matthew, you were either the victim of a terrible miscarriage of justice there, or you need a better dealer. It's tradition for the best man to give a bit of advice here, but I look at the two of you and I think there's nothing that you guys haven't already sussed out, nothing that I can give. However, yeah, and I say that because of the list of icks that your wife sent me, Matthew, is fucking colossal. So you must be doing something right to offset them. There's your crisp rustling, your liquid chewing, your coffee slurping, the way you hold your fork like a shovel. It's a good spectator sport for dinner time. The list goes on and on. But to top it off, right at the top of the list is your Royal Rumble / WrestleMania dance. Now, 20 years I've not seen this. I am amazed that we've seen that, because as I mentioned before in the stag do ourselves, you don't do dares, you don't do forfeits, so thank you. It's a first for everything.
You're welcome.
So anyway, struggling for advice, I asked your friends and they had plenty, not all of it helpful. So one gentleman advised, don't ask me, I'm getting divorced. Got some sage advice from one chap though. He said, most people say don't go to bed on an argument. He said, I disagree. Sleeping either puts it to an end immediately or leaves you really refreshed for round two. Some absolute pervert said, a good food run goes a long way. And one just sent me a gif of Will Smith shouting run. So, yeah, as I said, not very helpful, but, so maybe what you need to do is just keep on doing what you're doing, but with less of the rustling and the slurping and, the stuff that makes you. In all seriousness though, it has come to me, a little bit of decent kind of advice, and I said, learn the wisdom of compromise, for it's better to bend a little than to break. I think you'll manage that. You guys are perfect together, and I wish you and your furry children all the best in health and happiness. Firstly, you got me off scot-free. I asked around, and you've been described as witty, loyal, supportive, and thoughtful. And then Matthew, you found your grant to your Ellie. That's a Jurassic Park reference for anyone who doesn't know. I could have only dreamt of Matthew finding a girl with those qualities, one of those qualities, sorry, let alone all four. So either your friends are speaking total shit, or Matthew used to buy a lottery ticket. As you can probably tell, my memory is pretty incoherent and rambling, so I finished with something borrowed from Phil to sum up Matthew in an equally incoherent and rambling way. So, choose life, choose the Irish with the red door, choose Newcastle United, choose Lonsdale slip-ons. Today. Choose 2 daft dogs that keep you up in the night. Choose organising your life in a spreadsheet. Choose watching wrestling at 4 in the morning. Choose FIFA, not Pro Evo. Choose Trump.
4 more years.
Choose baby octopus sandwiches with some pickled onion monster mush on the side. Choose left field icons, Joey Barton, Alan Smith. Choose a 10-hour drive for 0-0 Stoke. Choose quizzing with friends. Choose the man bun. Choose a diet so odd, you need an actual stick to deal with your shit. Choose Jack and Coke. Choose your future. Choose marriage. Choose life. I'm not looking to invite the data in very late. Apparently, if you have to fight naked. Cheers.
You can do better than that. Come on, give him a cheer. And now on to the man that needs no introduction. Your boon, Matthew.
Well, I didn't expect that. Not from Greg. He's normally quite mild-mannered, but that was the most entertaining it's been in many years. Hello, I'll keep this short because I'm sure you're all very hungry. You're actually lucky that you're getting fed today. When we were asked if we wanted to, what we wanted to serve for a wedding breakfast, we said, "Oh no, thank you. Nobody will want to fry up before the wedding." We don't even know what a wedding breakfast is. Rich does. First things first, Matthew, where is the Jurassic Park Jeep we were promised for Kirsty's arrival? Well, unfortunately, the gearbox died a month ago, and it's not been fixed yet, so my apologies for that. It seemed to be on the borderline of acceptability, as Kirsty wanted to keep today classy and subtly dinosaur themed, whereas, as the celebrant said, if it was up to me, Jeff Goldblum would be here, and you would all be dressed as dinosaurs. Like I was on my stag do. Hey! Oh, by the way, you can keep the little dinosaur things on your table, and please use the drinks tokens to have a drink on us. Come on. After all, there is a cost of living crisis on. We have to apologise for arranging an expensive wedding during that. You're right. Regardless, we are honoured that you've all chose to spend time and money to be here with us. It's really close to get to speak into this, it's kind of weird. We're honoured that you all spent time and money to be here with us today in this beautiful venue. Quick thank you to all the staff here and our suppliers for giving us such a wonderful day. So far. We of course get engaged during the pandemic, and leaving aside our personal opinions of that, we certainly did not want to get married under any restrictive circumstances. It's rare that you get everybody you love in one place at one time in your life, so we thought that it was important to do it this way instead of running off to Las Vegas, which was the other option, of course. As you might have noticed earlier, this is a marriage of not 2 but 4 creatures. The other loves of our lives, Faddy and Tammy. Given that they're both teenagers, we desperately wanted them to be at the ceremony, despite them taking the spotlight away from us. Is it true that Faddy actually took a piss on a log? That's my boy. The first of many thank yous I would like to give is to Kirsty for bringing those 2 stinking butts into my life. As you know, I couldn't possibly put into words how I feel about them, but I think you know. So that's meant to be heartfelt. Meant to go, oh, keep up. I would suggest a toast to them, but instead, perhaps we should all think about them later during tea and coffee. After all, that is what Tammy would want if she was here. You're lucky Faddy's not here because he would try and eat your dinner. He's had many of mine. It was also particularly important that my grandma was here today.
Speech.
As mentioned earlier, she's the last remaining grandparent we have between us. So I'd just like to say how honoured we both are to have you here. There's meant to be flowers. So please enjoy those flowers. Thank you for everything you've done for me and for travelling such a long distance for the first time in a long time. So I'd like to propose my first toast to our grandparents. Cheers. Sorry, I've not done this before. Funnily enough. Kirsty and I had 2 socially different upbringings, which is probably reflected in the table plans. Whilst my family is comfortably fit into 1 table, the Mansons and the Moyers are spread across 3 tables, and they're not even all here. So, something Gordon didn't touch on is that his brother was actually hospitalised last night. So I just thank you, Gordon, for what you've done today and getting through everything without, thinking about it too much. And hopefully he's going to be all right. So, Anyway, my lack of siblings meant I had to make friends, and I could not have asked for a better group of friends than the people in this room. So many of you mean so much to me. Next page. That I spent months trying to decide who to choose for a best man and groomsman. Despite the titles, to me you're all my best men. However, Greg did all the work, so he gets the toast. 5 years ago, I stood up at your wedding and said that I need you more than you need me. Mostly for the reasons outlined in your speech there, like the financial fraud. And the many other times that I've been an idiot. However, I do hope that I've reached some sort of parity. I've certainly needed you in this last month though. So thank you for a wonderful stag do, and for everything you've done to make today possible, including keeping me up till 3 a.m. last night. And the stinking hangover I had when I woke up this morning. That was the strongest espresso martini I've ever had, so thank you. However, let's just hope you can stay sober beyond 7 p.m. this evening. Please raise a glass to Greg. So I found a lot of my friends through a love of football, whether it's playing in Ellen for the best part of 20 years, or going to the UK's finest hellholes like Cardiff or Stoke to watch Newcastle play, or just hundreds of trips to Newcastle itself. A lot of good memories with some of you here. Kirsty also made a big group of friends going to many Scotland games. You've probably heard them already. Including trips to Europe's finest hellholes like Georgia and Lithuania. I know she's particularly happy that so many of you have joined us today. On many of those trips, Kirsty was joined by her dad, Gordon. They'll be fine, don't worry. I go now. I did worry about this line, but I'm going to deliver it anyway. Because we're married now, she can't get out. There it goes. Kirsty is very much the builder's daughter. Wait for it. She is creative and good with her hands. No, that's not it. Slow down. But she also has a foul mouth, and her butt is often hanging out. Nailed it. Hold on. I'm allowed to do this, hold on. Where was I? But, yes. Anyway, as Gordon said, I'm utterly useless at home improvements, and, and he often has to come around to do something childish for me, like put up a shelf.
Or switch on the TV.
He's done me there. Regardless, he always seems... I've wrote nice things now. It almost seems pointless. Regardless, he always seems pleased to see me, despite my attempts at converting his political opinions. To be fair, many of you in this room have been victims of that. But anyway, the next big thank you is to Gordon for his wonderful speech, for his contribution to making today possible, and for giving away his daughter for a nominal fee. So a toast to Gordon, please. Actually, I think it deserves a bit more. Come on. As many of you are aware, Kirsty's parents separated several years ago, which meant that I had to do 2 rounds of Meet the Parents early on. There's no jokes. It wasn't particularly difficult though, as Kirsty's mum Eileen has done everything to make me feel welcome into her extended family with Athol. So I have to say thank you for that and for helping make today possible. We also have some flowers for you, Eileen. So the next toast goes to my mother-in-law, Eileen. I've got a mother-in-law, what the hell is that? Mental. Oh boy, right, my parents. Who's written this? Jesus Christ. Right, I know this is awful. Right, I know what you're thinking. What kind of people could produce such a fine specimen as myself? An An only child who waited until he was 30 to move out because he was too busy going to WrestleMania every year. Yeah, well, that's not entirely true. A major reason for not moving out in a hurry is because I had such a nice family life, made possible only by my mum and dad, Val and John. It's at this point I got writer's block because it's very difficult when you're a small family from Yorkshire to say anything genuine or sincere or display any type of emotion whatsoever. So, for the sake of keeping it simple, I'll just say I love you both very much, and thank you for accepting Kirsty and the dogs into the family so easily. Given my rich history of stupid relationships, I'm sure you probably never thought you would get to see a day like today. Yes! But again, thank you for both helping to make it happen. Mother, you also get some flowers? And you both get a toast to Val and John. That bit's done. Next. As I said earlier, we have remarkably different sized families. Kirsty is gaining a handful of people, whereas I can't even count how many I'm joining. Regardless, it's a lot. In the immediate family, though, I have a new brother-in-law in Jamie, and nephew in Jake, nieces in Holly and Alicia, and sisters in Vicky and Grace, along with Kirsty's friend Stacey. I've not written this down, but if you're at the bar buying a drink, do not let Stacey get involved with a credit card. But she will buy you everything. She's a menace. Pack it in. Kirsty told me to say that, so. Yes, so they've all helped Kirsty immensely today, and I'd personally like to thank them all for making sure that she actually got to the aisle, whilst also finding the time to make yourselves all look fantastic. So another toast to the bridesmaids. Did everybody look at our website before you came? Yeah? No? Maybe? Yeah? So, as you know from the website, we asked you to leave the little shits at home because we think they stink. So, yeah, generally, we're notoriously bad with children, clearly. However, seeing as we have you all gathered here today, we thought we would take the opportunity to share our news. We would like to let you all know we still think kids stink. Yeah, correct. We hate kids. Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Don't panic. Okay. Mother. Grandma. Look at your face. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was cruel. In the immediate future, our priority, let me say the word, our priority, there we go, is to give the dogs their best lives possible, with as many adventures and snacks as they can handle. Then we would very much like to see the world before settling down in a warmer climate and building our dream home, or as I refer to it, our doomsday bunker. Would you like that? A nice doomsday punk. Sorry. I can't think of anyone I would rather explore the world with before turning into a couple of paranoid recluses than Kirsty. Yeah! I tried to get some time to write this speech over the last week, but every night Kirsty would drag me up to bed. That's right. It's because she wanted to watch a new documentary about aliens. You did as well.
I know.
Yeah. And in a nutshell, that's why we are now married. Some people might use the word comfortable in a negative way, but we can genuinely be ourselves around each other, and it has been like that from the moment we met, really. Kirsty certainly relaxed early on by letting me see her sarcasm, her stubbornness, and her short fuse. She's quite shy at times, but I'm sure she would thank me for tolerating those traits, along with the theft of all my clothes, and always went to go to bed at 7 p.m.
Patty needs to go to bed at 7. I used to go to
You need to go to bed at 7. Bless her, she's actually held it together quite well today. I expected her to cry a couple of times, but she would, of course, rather die than show any emotion. Yes, you would. Despite that, I also have to say thank you to Kirsty. I'm clearly not easy to be around at times. She actually called me Groomzilla a few months ago. Regardless, thank you for tolerating my stupid haircuts, my various smells, my neighbourhood vendettas, yeah, my autistic tantrums, and my unhinged ideas that I never follow through on. Until today. But most of all, thank you for loving me enough to become my wife. I love you very much, and you get the final toast to my beautiful wife, Kirsty. And that's it. Thank you for coming. We'll get drunk.